room. Roll call.
Holly,
Here.
Buckminster.
Here.
Rod.
Here.
Wisdom.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Ratcliffe.
Here.
Foraker.
Here.
Leighton is absent. Have it.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Muscle memory.
I don't have no report. City administrator.
Nothing too specific. We are working through Tyler Tech in the next stages. We'll be setting up the licensing and, like building inspection component modules, get that set up. So then we'll be able to take those payments online here also. This week, staff's doing utility billing training, kind of the initial setup with that. Plan with that is Tyler Tech's mocked our current system, pretty much has it ready. We'll actually run our next meter reads on the 15th. We'll run through the new system and our old system at the same time, getting the surely match up. And then we should be into the new system completely in the month after that. So it's moving right along. We'll be fully done here, in April. So I got.
Okay, chief.
I don't have anything.
There we go. Under the consent agenda, we have minutes approval of December 18th, 2023, agenda approval, claims approval for December 4th through December 15th, 2023, in the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
No vote.
7 yeas, 1 absent.
There's no old business, so we'll move to regular business. Discussion and action, rescheduling of a regular council meeting on January 15th, 2024 to January 16th, 2024, in observation of Martin Luther King Day.
Yep, so I missed that on the last meeting on that holiday. Didn't get onto my schedule, so I wanted to get that done before the meeting. Essentially, I'll change it from Monday to Tuesday.
Second.
We'll vote.
7 yeas.
Number 2, discussion and action, authorization to execute a letter of intent to apply for the 2024 Civic and Community Center Financing Fund. Anthony.
All right, kind of explain what we have. The rec center study is completed. Ally Pointer will be down here at the next meeting, actually on the 16th, to do a full presentation to council on the study and the kind of cost estimates and everything, what they came through and what we figured out for these concepts. We have a January 15th deadline to get this CCCFF grant in, not necessarily the grant application, which you have to get your letter of intent in. By mid-February, a full grant would need to be put together with costs and what you're potentially going to do and how much money you want to get. Where we're at now is essentially is concept components, so they got full concept design kind of pulled together of potential uses of the building at Old City Hall and Pritchard. There's info in here about the creative district. The funding this year is only available to entities or cities that have a creative district formed. So it's good for us. We'll be on a short list for that grant funding. So we'll get submitted with the application, but we'll have a full application coming in February. So essentially now is just to submit a letter of intent. The project name is just basic one thrown in there, Recreation Wellness Center. That can be changed to whatever that may be as it comes through conceptual design to actually get to bid plans. So we just need to have some placeholders to tell NDED that we're gonna throw in a full application within February, or planning to put in a full application.
So when this, On this, here it's saying 13 million, is that the projected cost of this?
That is what came out of the study as projected cost for a rehab of Pritchard and a rehab of Old City Hall, together combined. I think the total cost was, like, Pritchard was a little over 10 million, and these are conceptual design costs. So this isn't like a bid numbers coming from anywhere or anything close. This is just kind of a per square foot idea of cost of about $288 a square foot to rehab Pritchard Auditorium, and a potential cost of around $241 a square foot to do something within the Old City Hall.
Okay, so what we're looking at is the possibility of fixing up the old city hall instead of building something new, is that?
That's what will be proposed at the next meeting when they do the presentation of the study. So the study focused on City Hall initially and how it could work with Pritchard, and then it slightly migrated to Pritchard and utilizing that and seeing how then we could utilize City Hall for something besides a rec center itself.
Sure. So
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
well, on this, on the remaining balance on the grant wise, it's showing, 375 and 562 or something. Where would the remaining money come from?
That's what would have to go through fundraising of some sorts and planning to get all that stuff done.
Just think of our infrastructure, our water lines, I mean, everything else we've got in line here, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of what comes first,
Yep, definitely.
There's lots of extravagant cost in this 13 million that we don't need. Or at least I don't think we don't need. I think you get it below 10, hopefully lower than that. But I've just looked for it myself for what I know of it.
Yeah. So this
That's
is
still a lot of money though.
There's a lot of it on our infrastructures,
yeah.
pretty, I mean,
Very true.
So the planning grant that we put together is what essentially teed this up to go to that next stage. You need to get through that, get through this. Like I said, it's a letter of intent. You put something in saying, we're likely gonna do something. When it comes down to it, it's gonna have to be a committee put together and directed with governing body of what the actual directive is gonna be and where we go with it.
sure.
Yeah.
Now, will there be, I actually got reached out to today about, like the fitness centers in town. Will there be a fitness center inside these things too? Because other people invested in town, they're kind of worried about that.
That would all come through that use and the concept when you design it.
Design, okay.
That was brought up when they did the study component, and talked to those entities, so they got feedback from that and they'll present it at the next meeting.
Okay.
They'll be able to answer a lot of those questions with that study information that will come out.
Sure. I'm just a little worried about these numbers and that with our utility, electrical and everything else. And then we're kind of held up on that with money, I think, isn't it? I mean,
We're bonded for majority of the utility stuff. This would be on the gov side, on the city component side. So not a municipal bond or a utility bond. It'd be, against the levy authority or some other sort of fundraising to do that.
And there's foundations out there, that, like Peter Kiewit, he brought up to me.
sure. Yeah. Other ones, yeah.
But at the same time, this grant,
Step one of many steps.
this grant money was intended for standing structures, and so 50 years and older, so.
I read that.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why it's just sort of picked out towards the old city building and then moved to Pritchard Auditorium renovations.
Because there were even, part of that conceptual design was the north side of Pioneer Park as well, correct?
Yeah.
Like the aquatic center or something on
Yeah.
the north side of the park.
Potentially putting some other aquatic center within that area. Yeah, the study when they come down and present that, it'll be a little more clear. We're hoping to have the study done and in place prior to getting the letter of intent, but Alec Pointer couldn't get down for this meeting due to the holidays, so they're getting down next meeting. But we just gotta get this submitted prior to the 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve submitting the letter of intent.
I'll vote.
All right, 7 yeas.
That's the end of the agenda.